There's no better feeling than a personal win, and the State Farm Personal Price Plan can help you do just that. Talk to a State Farm agent today to learn how you can bundle and save with the Personal Price Plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
Everything you learned in history class was a lie. Well, maybe not everything, but they skipped the best parts. Introducing Stupiracy, where stupidity meets conspiracy. Ever heard of the Olympic marathon that nearly killed its runners? Or the time a pope put another pope's corpse on trial? Join me, Scott Rizzuto, and Tim McKernan as we uncover the most outrageous historical moments and mind-blowing conspiracies you won't believe actually happened. Tune into Stupiracy for your weekly dose of historical absurdity. Available wherever you get your podcasts. Remember, history is dumb, but laughing at it is smart.
Patrick Royce with Sports Talk.
Something here.
He's on a mission. He's on a mission. I can see that he's very intently.
I think he's very worried about the ice in Las Vegas.
How about that?
You
can't rush it.
Probably 95 outside, huh? The trouble is, you kick those doors open. It takes 3 hours to get people in.
Right. Dry heat, schmy heat. It's still hot.
90. I've been in Phoenix when it's 115. And
okay, May 20th. As
dry as you want it to.
May 20th.
That's the fog game?
Buffaloes beat Flyers in 1975 fog game. I would have sworn it was Buffalo and Dallas.
Is that a Stanley Cup final?
I don't know.
Was it? Because that Buffalo was good back. Was Gilbert Perreault and Richard Martin on that team still in 95? Maybe not.
This was 75.
75, yeah. Well, they had to be on that team then. Buffalo was good.
It turns out
then.
If you Google fog game Stanley Cup playoffs, there's quite a few of them,
Is there?
actually.
Really? But what are they going to do?
I don't know. What are they going to do?
No.
It's 95 degrees in Vegas. Everybody comes in there
Maybe they
wearing
won't be able to have the whole ceremony.
They shoot flames up and,
and
the whole thing.
So what? I haven't seen the up-to-date. What, this morning it was mushy?
Yesterday during practice, they liked it, but they're worried that it's mushy. It stems from the night before the finals. There was a Pink concert in the building.
Hey, Pink's worth it, man.
I know you're a Pink fan.
I'm a big Pink fan.
I can't understand that, but you're a big Pink fan.
She can sing on a trapeze, man. How often do you see that?
But it's resulted in just not getting a good layer of...
When they scheduled Pink, they didn't think they were going to be in the Stanley Cup Finals. That's part of the problem. Yeah. You know, just like Met Center, sir, the first year the North Stars were here, we had to play 5 of the 7 games in the Western Conference Finals in St. Louis because
you've told us
Met Center was not available.
Was it concerts?
I think it was a circus, but I'm not sure. Some other event, not concerts. Hell, they didn't. Back then, I don't think you had an arena concert, did you, in the mid-'60s?
Oh, hell yes.
Were you?
Well,
I don't know. Excelsior Roller Rink.
Okay, puzzle me this.
I saw the Beach Boys, Excelsior.
At the start of the year, is the NHL schedule written in stone? In other words, back in September, did they know that Game 1 of the Cup Finals was going to be on May 28th?
Well, yes, but I mean...
No, did they know it would be on May 28th?
They knew they were going to start it on Memorial Day night.
Yeah. Well, then Pink has nothing to do with it. The people that run the building see that they got May 27th free, they don't, so they book Pink.
Well, plus... They're not worried about being in the Stanley Cup Finals. They're an expansion team. The odds are 500 to 1. Go ahead. Have elephants in there. We don't care. Right. You know, that's
Did you see the Beach Boys?
And who else?
Were they wearing their striped beach shirts?
Oh yeah, they were. Yeah. They looked as California as you could possibly be.
The Stones have had a lot to do with transforming arena concerts.
Yes,
and I'm trying to think. I bet the Stones weren't playing the Met Centers of the United States in 1967 or 8. I bet it came along in the early 70s.
The Beatles came and played ballparks. The Beatles played ballparks.
Yeah, with terrible sound systems.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Look up when was Rolling Stones' first arena concert? And how they revolutionized it, too, is they brought their own equipment. They were the first to have their own
Instead
stuff.
of having those two Montgomery Ward airline things.
They were the first to have the trucks full of stuff. The Beatles played Shea Stadium with equipment that quite literally could have fit in your mother's Chevy station wagon.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, where was the Rolling Stones' first
arena concert in the United States?
In the United States. First arena concert.
And they'll probably give you a ballpark because if Google can't be that, sometimes it's not that.
I mean, they were playing the Civic Center and the Met
tour dates.
Yeah, I bet that
first
was not
American tour, 1964. I'm gonna click on that.
See, maybe they were in arenas.
That was their first concert tour of America. The tour commenced on June 5th and concluded on June 20th.
Matt,
tell you where they went.
Matt.
Where did they go? Where did they
Guys,
play?
I only have two eyes, so I can't read
I know,
everything
but
at once.
I'm going to give you a more specific instruction.
Okay.
What I want to know is when was their first arena
Yeah, but he's
concert?
looking at their first schedule to see maybe
Well,
it's
it
right
wouldn't
here.
have been in 64.
Okay.
They
Hell,
play in 64. Here's the venues that they played
All
at.
right, here we go.
In San Bernardino, Swing Auditorium.
That's not an arena.
San Antonio, Joe Freeman Coliseum.
That's the
That ain't an arena.
Why didn't I go? I missed
I
them.
don't know.
Here's how fast their turnover was. The next night, they played in Omaha at Music Hall Auditorium. The
That's
next
not an
night
arena.
after that, 2 nights after Excelsior, they went to Detroit, Olympia Stadium.
Yeah, that
That's
was
hockey, that's an
Detroit's
arena.
Met Center.
Yeah, okay.
It was an indoor arena.
So they had to come here and go to a place with 1,200 drunks standing up, all
Right.
underage, and then they were in the Olympia Stadium 2 days later.
Well, okay, then Pittsburgh on the 17th, Westview Park, Harrisburg Farm Show Arena, and then the night after that, 2 shows.
The guy out in Wayzata who every time the Stones came would get the story about how he gave them you
Just
can't
always
always
get what you
can't
want.
always get what
Jimmy
you want.
what? Wrote-
Jimmy something. So that would have been
Agreed.
64.
allegedly that would have been the time that he met them.
Yep.
How long were they in town?
He went to the
One day?
drugstore to get a cherry soda.
Yes. But they
And
were
Mick
only,
was on such a tight schedule, you can see he had time to sit down and have a cherry Coke.
what was there the day before Excelsior? Were they someplace?
Let me
You said
look
they were in
back.
Omaha the next day,
They
so
were
they couldn't have
in-
been hanging out with Jimmy too long.
They came 2 shows in San Antonio on June 7th, and then their next date was June 12th.
Well, hell, they might have been out there at the lake boating with
Fishing.
Jimmy. And
Jimmy, what the hell
Jimmy
was his-
Hutmaker.
Jimmy Hutmaker.
Yeah.
We lost
he-
him in 07.
Which is an absolute BS story.
he sold it to one
But
of
it
the.
was a great story.
He sold it to one of the.
Yeah, you're
I
right.
hate that story.
He'd have it every time.
Every time. It got to the point where Jimmy practically had his own memorial bench in downtown Excelsior.
Oh, they'd always say.
Yeah.
In fact, Don would call him up and say, "Jimmy, we'll meet you at the bench."
Right.
And
Beat the bench. We'll go through it again, Jimmy. This year, add a little something
Yeah,
about
add a
how you
little-
were standing in line for cough syrup or
Yeah,
something.
right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Hutmaker's business cards had the lyrics to the song printed on their back sides.
But he didn't have a job, did he? What did he
No.
do for a living?
I think Jimmy might have had issues or something, but he was well loved by the town. And
The veracity of these claims is disputed.
really,
Mr.
I think so.
Well, one or the other.
Yeah.
Hey, I got to tell
Why,
you,
was he
guys
there having a cherry Coke too?
I got to tell you something. I
All
went
right,
to
then we got a caller who has a pitching comment.
Okay. The Rider. I went to the movie, The Rider.
The writer.
It's getting very good reviews. It's about a 20-year-old kid who's a bronc rider, and he gets stomped on, and he gets his head stomped on. Mm-hmm. So I go to it on, when?
Not a comedy.
Memorial. No, but here's what it's got.
Yeah.
It's got a beloved dead mom
All right.
who died at 50. We see her headstone.
All right.
Got a drunken, poverty-stricken father.
All right.
We have a lovable little sister, but she's special needs.
Okay.
We have a best friend idol of this guy was a few years older than him, and the guy he always idolized as a bronc rider.
Right.
And then we got
So far, I'm not going.
then we got bad things happening to horses.
Okay.
You know, that are family favorites.
Yeah.
So you
You
know
mean
what
like,
Grandpa Pat said on Twitter? don't take the grandkids.
No.
The ride
this
is
may
not-
be the most depressing movie I've ever been to in my life.
So wait, the guy meets his idol, and he can just sit there and go like,
Yeah, he goes to see the idol at the. He goes to see the idol, and the idol can't speak,
All right.
and he's paralyzed.
We're going
Oh.
to address callers in a moment.
Did Kyle Gibson do to get himself yanked after 7 terrific innings so we could overuse the bullpen?
I don't know how many pitches did he throw, and I hadn't seen.
Well, but Patrick, he's got 2 more innings to go. He's cruising.
Well, you're. I don't know how many pitches he had, but if he was over 90, they won't send him back out for the 8th. That's just the way it is. You're complaining about something that's been going on now for 20 years.
Well, I thought it ended when Gardy left, but you're saying this is major leagues or the Twins?
It's pretty much Major League Baseball. Once in a while, you'll see Cleveland if they really need it, let Kluber throw more. Not anymore. He doesn't usually. He goes 7 or 8. You know, once in a while they'll let a guy like that go 115. But their theory is, okay, if he's 95, I'm going to take him out because he probably is going to get over what we think he should have in the 8th inning. So it's if he's about 90, they would have sent him out for another inning. But I didn't see. I don't know how many he threw.
Well, I don't either, but he was going through them very easily.
Well, he would have had to pitch 14, and they'd only be tied. So what difference does it make? Although, yeah, you're right.
No,
Maybe
they were
wanted to
winning
give it up
1-0.
1-0. Yeah, it's
yeah,
just it's an old complaint, and you're never going to win it. So forget it.
Fine. All right.
Okay.
You guys are taking calls now?
Well, we got
Always have, Kenny. It's the mother's milk of talk radio.
yes.
If
and we will break down the Twins game.
favor and roll down your window and throw your bleeping phone out.
Oh, so that way we don't have to see people hit each other.
Like the Krabby Coffee Shop.
Yeah, that's Kenny.
Since when are we taking calls?
The deal is we are taking calls.
Oh.
We just
646-8255, 877-615-1500.
Call
I
me
don't
with
take-
any traffic questions you may have.
our Yatesy. I use the Yatesy philosophy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I love taking calls.
Yeah. Well,
Well, you know what? Back when you were really call generated, you had a producer. You could be talking about solemn events,
yes.
famine in West Africa.
Yep.
Right.
Can I
Yeah.
play the caller, Patrick?
Yeah.
Can I?
Okay, Kenny, you're on.
Yeah, Joe, I got to make a move. They got a guy changing a flat tire on the Ide Mill ramp to southbound Practice Freeway.
No, the best one was when they'd call and say, "Oh man, a plane crashed today in Chicago, 100 cycles."
Yeah, that was the other one. That was the other one.
What am I taking here, Chris?
Gil on line 10.
Gil?
Yeah, Pat, the 4th inning, you can't go on pitch count alone because these guys are trained to go at least 110 pitches, and he's yanking them out if they're going on 6th inning, 4th inning, whatever it is, 75, 80 pitches. They're making millions of dollars.
Yeah, they should probably be able to pitch.
Gil,
more,
you
don't
should
they?
have your own show,
Gil,
man.
you need to keep this voice.
You are.
I love this voice.
No, I don't. Conspiracy.
Hey, Gil, could you say a phrase for me? Say there's going to be fines and suspensions. Say
That's
that.
who he sounds like, Wally Carbo.
Just say that for me, would you?
Who's Wally Carbo? Pitcher? No, you guys are crazy.
I don't even know who Gil
I
was.
don't either, but I want to hear him.
We'll take his call every
I
day.
will take Gil's call
Gil
every
was
day.
Wally Carbo with
There are gonna
as
be
a baseball
fines and
fan.
suspensions.
As a
You
baseball
kind of sound like Wally Carbo.
He did.
Although, because Kenny always instructed me that we don't have many rules on sports talk, but one of them is when you answer the phone, it's sports talk, hang on.
Hold on.
Right, that's the screening process. You have been thoroughly TSA audio screened.
Yes.
My
Vetted.
my rookie days, I'd ask them, "Do you want to be on?" And then about a week later, I'm just, "Hold on, you idiot! Just you're super dumb. Just hold on."
And what was Yatesy's line about callers?
I don't call you at your business. Don't call me at mine.
I don't call you at work. Don't you call me at work.
But Gil can get in anytime he wants.
Oh, sure. Yeah,
But he wanted to break it down.
Gil's, you know what? I think Gil's probably a believer that these modern players are just a bunch of wimps.
Too tight. They're too tight. Too tight and wimpy, right?
Too tight and wimpy. Yeah,
There's no margin for error.
No, that's true. All right, Gil. Yeah, I think
Wait
Gil.
a minute. Is he calling back? Is he calling back?
No, really?
He might be.
Reavers, answer that.
All right, hang on.
How did he get the
I
contest
don't know.
line?
I got the tip.
Probably from the dark man.
Yeah,
Just a minute.
right.
Oh, yeah, I can get you the hotline. No
is
problem.
this Gil again?
Hey, if I want to be mocked, I'll call every day. I'm not here to be mocked.
No, nobody was mocking you, Gil.
Yeah.
We were speculating that you probably think the modern player is a little less manly than in the old days.
Yeah, your dumb producer thought he's too tight. These guys, their body's too tight. He ain't playing.
Yeah, right.
No,
That's true.
I got a hangnail.
Yeah.
I got a $4 million a year hangnail. You're too tight. Hey, go take the bench. You're too tight.
You want a big, fat, roly-poly guy who sells hot dogs in the
Give
winter.
me the roly-poly guy. What's going on with the ice in Vegas? What do you got? You got ice or slush? What are we playing on?
We're going to have
It's hot out there,
So
Gil.
far, we think we got ice, Gil.
I can't play it. They don't got ice. You know what? Ice is too tight.
No, you want tight ice. You want
I
tight ice.
gotta go cut the grass.
Gil, that's our audience right there. That's him. That's our guy.
Slushies.
A P1. That's a P1 right there.
Yeah, right there.
Say everybody.
He listens intently to the poop commercial.
Everybody just take a breath. We're going to be back shortly, but now thanks to our great friends in Owatonna, Minnesota at Federated Insurance, where it's their business to protect your business. It's Frank Miller from the Wall Street Journal and Your Money Now.
Well, stocks closing with some strong gains today. The Dow up around 300 points. This coming amid strength in the energy sector as the price of oil rallied up $1.48 on the day. OPEC would keep its supply quota plan in place through at least the end of the year. In today's economic news, payroll processor ADP said that private sector employment was up a little less than expected in May, up 178,000. Economists expected a gain of 190,000. Well, President Trump today announced that he has signed the Right to Try Act into law. The president says that will allow patients with life-threatening illnesses to have access to experimental treatments. The president also said that massive and voluntary price cuts would be announced soon by some major drug companies. And shares of Salesforce hit record highs today after the company released a strong earnings report after Tuesday's closing bell. Salesforce reporting revenues of $3 billion. I'm Frank Miller with Your Money Now on 1500 ESPN. Here's Kenny Soulman Olsen.
All right. Thank you, Frankie. Appreciate it. I hope we're going to hear from you tomorrow again, right? I'm going to talk to you tomorrow, Frank? Frank?
I don't think he wants to talk.
Frank. Wow, that's cold, man. All right, let's check your traffic here. This one's sponsored by KFC, although I am a little hurt by Frank's brush-off. We'll go with eastbound 694. Running 15 minutes, 100 over to 35W. If you're toiling away between the downtowns, both directions of 94, averaging about 15 minutes each. Southbound 35E, we're seeing building levels on the Practice Freeway, 10 minutes and rising, 94 down to 494. And northbound 35W filling up and slowing down nicely between County C and Highway 10. All the usual delays there. Get KFC's new $5 fill-up with 2 pieces of extra crispy chicken, mashed potatoes, biscuit, cookie, and a drink. KFC, it's finger-licking good. This offer is not... Kick it!
You could throw your neck out of this song.
Yeah.
This one goes out to Gil in Brooklyn Park.
Yep. Another girl, another planet.
Here's Reavers in the newsroom.
Thank you, Joe. 50 games played so far this season. The Twins have now been walked off 8 times. Last night it was a home run by Alcides Escobar that gave Kansas City a 2-1 victory. Miguel Sano was 1 for 6, driving in the lone Twins run. He is now hitting 198 on the season. Byron Buxton entered the game as a pinch runner, managed to go 0 for 2, and he is now hitting 156. Same 2 teams.
If he gets below Marjorie's weight...
What was the batting average?
98 pounds.
Yeah.
So he goes .098 batting average. He's crossed the Marjorie line.
Fernando Romero will start opposite Royals right-hander Brad Keller. First pitch tonight from Kauffman Stadium is at 7:15. Vikings organized team activities continue this week at their new practice facility in Eagan. Our guy Matthew Collar has a piece right now at 1500ESPN.com talking about Anthony Barr missing the first week of OTAs and how he is trying to work out a new contract with the organization.
And Anthony Barr, yes, he's there. And we have unanimous attendance.
That's right. Perfect attendance, yes. Cavaliers forward Kevin Love remains in concussion protocol, and his status for Game 1 of the NBA Finals remains unclear. He missed Cleveland's Game 7 victory over Boston after colliding with Celtics rookie Jason Tatum in Game 6. Game 1 of the NBA Finals will be Thursday at 8 p.m. on this radio station.
How did Mauer get concussion symptoms?
Diving for a foul ball.
In Anaheim, right?
Kind of whipped his neck.
Oh.
So
he's resumed baseball
activities. Yes.
Patrick, do you think he's in fact too tight?
I think he could be.
He's probably too tight.
Might be too tight.
You know, the best part of the Gill
I think he's too tall. I think he's too tall.
Who, Mauer?
Mauer. They should have put a book on his head when he got to be about 6'3".
My favorite part of the second Gill call was the
That's old school.
Oh, my God.
awesome transition between baseball and the ice.
Just a minute. Gil?
Hey, Mauer's not too tight, but he doesn't have it upstairs. Okay?
Yeah.
Don't dive for a foul ball if you're making $23 million. Okay? Let it fall. It's going to be okay. You don't have to dive for a ball. You got to get that in his stick head.
Gil, he didn't even hit his head. I mean, this is the definition of too tight.
I thought you wanted hustle. I
want you to hustle. Run over there. It's fast enough so you can catch the damn thing and you don't fall on your ass. Okay? You run over there fast enough. You're like Sano, 450 pounds. He's going to be, you want a wrestling reference, he's going to be like the Crusher. The big guy from Stone Mountain, Georgia. Not Stan the Killer K.
Jerry Blackwell.
Jerry Blackwell.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, he wouldn't be diving for a foul ball.
No,
and he sure as hell wasn't making $23 million for the guy he is. Yeah?
Anyway, Gil.
All right,
Gil, thank you.
I'm down here at West Summit. There ain't no hockey tonight, is there?
No, not for the Wild, Gil. Not till next year.
Game outside.
Huh?
They're not showing the game outside the X-Bet tonight.
No, you're right. They're not.
No, they're doing it in Vegas, so they show you right outside. You don't buy a ticket. You ain't got to buy no ticket. You sit right out there.
That's a hell of a good idea, Gil.
Go over to Noy Tom Reed, will you? Come on.
Yeah, Tommy Reed, okay? Yeah, Tommy Reed, he's from Canada.
Hey,
they got good poutine there. Good poutine.
Hey, Gil, why don't you call the fan, okay?
All right.
Hey, thanks, Ferrero. I'll talk to you later.
Wow.
He'll have some points to get across.
Yeah, he really does.
He's going to barrel through.
I can see him. He's standing down by the X waiting for the game
I can
to come
see,
on.
yeah. If you see the guy, I don't know why. We should ask what he was wearing.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Which one of you yahoos gave that knucklehead the hot
I don't know how he got the contest
because
number.
he's got the line and he's going to use it.
Yeah.
News notes from today. Governor Mark Dayton signed a nearly $1.5 billion public works bonding. It outweighed the serious concerns that he has with what is in or what was left out of the bill. The governor said the Republican-crafted bonding package, which includes $825 million in general obligations bonds and pulls out the rest of the funding, universities, state parks, mass transit, and other.
So we got a special session coming up then. Huh? We got to negotiate a deal all summer and then
we'll have to negotiate a deal.
They have a 48-hour meeting or something. So.
I think you already mentioned that, Kenny. I'll skip the 35W closure. Sorry.
No, I didn't mention it. Please do.
When is this week? When's it start?
Do it.
35W from south of downtown Minneapolis down to 62. We'll see closings in Minneapolis for road work. Round 1 starts this Friday at 10 p.m. with both sides of 35W closing until 5 a.m. Monday for the demolition of the 26th Street overpass. Northbound will be closed from 94 down to 62, while southbound is off limits from 94 to 46th Street. Crews will begin closing the entrances and exit ramps roughly 1 hour before closing the interstate.
And this whole thing's only going to take 3 years, right?
Yeah, it's going to take a while.
What are we doing? Okay. Resurfacing everything?
We're doing everything.
But Kenny said this a couple weeks ago, and he's 100% right. It does need to be done.
Yeah, it's a mess.
Isn't the mass transit in the middle of the freeway, too? Is that going on or not?
Yeah, they've got that bus station down there. Mm-hmm.
President Donald Trump tweeted today about ABC's decision to pull the plug on Roseanne's
They couldn't
reboot.
control him.
No, well, he didn't endorse.
He found it. They hit it on him, but he found the phone.
Found the phone.
He didn't endorse Roseanne, though.
Okay, I'm sorry. We should hear what the story
He made
is.
himself a martyr.
Trump suggested that he was disappointed he'd never received a call from Bob Iger, CEO of the Walt Disney Company, about the horrible statements made and said about me on ABC. Former Obama White House advisor Valerie Jarrett, the subject of some of Roseanne Barr's tweets, said that she did receive a call Tuesday informing her of the show's cancellation. Here is the direct tweet from the president. Quote, Bob Iger of ABC called Valerie Jarrett to let her know that ABC does not tolerate comments like those made by Roseanne Barr. Gee, he never called President Donald J. Trump to apologize for the horrible statements made and said about me on ABC. Maybe I just didn't get the call, end quote.
That's pretty mild by Don. That's pretty good.
Is he kind of like Sid, though?
What?
Kind of like Sid, making it about him?
Don't you think he's got a little bit of a point here? Because I've been seeing that a lot for the past year and a half, where they'll jump on the right or anybody for saying anything, but they'll in turn they'll turn around and say just the most.
I just don't think it's a game we can play.
Awful things about Trump. I mean, just vile things they'll say about him.
But part of the reason is what he's saying about them, right?
Well,
maybe Gil could call in with thoughts
for me,
on
it's practice what you preach. I mean, doesn't it go both directions?
I will give
sides?
the makers of Ambien credit for saying
that was funny.
That's pretty
Racism
good.
is not a side effect.
We got a lot of side effects. You've seen our commercials.
Let me say this as a guy who used to overdrink on occasion. What it does when you're loopy on whatever it is, whatever drug, opiate, alcohol, it gives you permission to say what you really feel but wish you hadn't said, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It loosens your tongue.
Yes, it does. You say things that you probably in retrospect you wish you hadn't said, but it doesn't change what your opinion was. So.
I'd like to sleep with a teddy bear. No, maybe something a little more upsetting.
Coffee giant Starbucks closed all of its 8,000 plus U.S. stores for 4 hours yesterday afternoon, so its 175,000 employees could participate in company-wide racial bias training. I don't know of another company in the history of American business that's done anything remotely like this, said Executive Chairman Howard Schultz. Closing all U.S. stores did come at a price. Bloomberg estimates it could result in $16.5 million in lost sales, which compares to the $22.5 billion in revenues the company had in fiscal 2017. Starbucks will also be paying all employees for participating in the training.
So did they cover
$2 billion in coffee?
Did they cover each minority each hour? How do they?
I don't know how it was broken down.
This is how you deal with this group. This is how you deal.
Here's the part I don't understand. Why couldn't they have just done different shifts instead of having to did they do the closing of the store just for marketing purposes?
Symbolic.
Yeah.
Marketing, right?
I think airport Starbucks and grocery store Starbucks stayed open.
I'd have to ask my friend that works at the airport.
We have a caribou at the Byerly's, so I think we got to get our coffee today.
You ever transport any Starbucks employees to the Byerly's, or just strictly Byerly's employees?
No, we just have caribou.
Okay.
We have caribou
Got it.
there.
The United States is leading the world in increased traffic deaths, and distracted driving is a primary cause, according to a new study of 29 different nations. Only 5 of the 29 saw a jump in traffic deaths between 2010 and 2017, and the U.S. had the highest rate of increase at 13.5%, said a study by the International Transport Forum.
Did you ever drive in Spain?
Well, this says
we're better than Spain.
Think so?
So you take the same route I do every day, and what I've noticed the past couple of years is you're driving along, the speed limit's 25 miles per hour, and every other car that is approaching you is veering into your lane and then out again and then in and then out. Nobody is paying attention to the road. No. And they get on the parkway and they think the speed limit's 25. I'm good here. And they never look at the road. Right. I mean, I have become accustomed to people veering into my lane for a head-on crash and then pulling out at the last second. It's unbelievable.
You mentioned this during GL. What country was it that Joe got called a weenie behind the wheel?
He was told by an officer of the law in France. This was told to a child he used to have that his dad drives like a woman. And the kid was, fully fluent in French and understood.
They can still get away with blatant sexism in France.
Actually, I think he said your father drives like an old lady.
Oh,
I was trying to get around the airport. I didn't know where I was, so I was going about 3.
I've seen you drive. You know where the throttle is.
Oh yeah.
So you were just having a moment.
Not over there. I didn't.
I picked up the rent-a-car in Edinburgh with the wife. Got on the wrong side to drive.
Can't do that.
Got on the wrong side. Drove out.
We have to switch.
Drove out of the airport. Went on one roundabout. Pulled over and said, "It's all yours." I got no shot. Why have you moved the steering wheel? All right, there was confidence being expressed that we were going to get a PGA Tour event starting in 2019. There are 2 possibilities. There was an opening on the schedule because Quicken Loans had stopped sponsoring the tournament in Washington, and there was also the Houston's up in the air. Well, today, Quicken Loans announced it's taking its tournament to Detroit. So that's one of the possibilities gone. Now it depends upon whether Houston stays on the schedule or not. Houston has lost its sponsor, Shell, and will apparently has until Friday to decide whether it's going to keep its event or not. If they keep their event, no regular event for the Twin Cities, at least not in the foreseeable future.
All right.
Televangelist Jesse Duplantis is pleading with his followers, claiming that he needs a $54 million jet to help him efficiently spread the gospel to as many people as possible.
You're closer to the Lord.
He said if Jesus was around, he wouldn't be riding no donkey.
Now, did he say that Jesus told him he needed this jet?
It is his mission to reach every soul of the 7 billion people
I haven't
that
seen
now.
this guy. Is he popular?
He's all over the internet.
Is he?
Oh yeah, he's got
got the televangelist hair.
Yeah, oh yeah. He's got a big popular YouTube channel too, Patrick. Where did I leave that quote off? Making sure that each one has an opportunity to know the real Jesus. It's probably not surprising to learn that Duplantis preaches prosperity gospel, which says God shows favor by rewarding the faithful with earthly riches.
We've heard that one before, right? We heard that.
So what's Jesus want? A $54 million Lear?
Well, that's just it, Joe. And apparently Duplantis, he hasn't really clarified, but this would become his 4th private jet.
Oh.
So he's got a fleet.
All right.
So why do we need another one? He's
got souls
We've got to spread the gospel.
Well, but he's got 3 planes in which to do that.
That ain't enough to get to all the souls.
Can he divide himself?
Yeah,
Is he
he's
that
gotta
holy?
split him up.
Jesus didn't even have his driver's license.
He's like Hammer. There was more than one Hammer, and now there's more than one Jesse, whatever the hell his name.
Well, are you guys sure maybe he has a summer car and a winter beater?
Oh, there you go.
It's that
there you go.
So
Right.
he only flies one in the winter.
Remember what summer beaters used to be called? There was always a winter beater when we were growing up.
No.
But there were summer cars.
No.
And they were advertised as fishing cars.
Really?
Yes.
I can't remember that.
Genius.
Fishing car.
I can't remember.
The
that.
implication being you didn't care if the fish stunk up the thing.
Oh,
It was a junker.
Sure.
Yeah.
Could get in some water and it would be all right.
Yeah.
If he fell in the lake.
Yeah.
I know a guy that has a hunting car. It's a Mercedes.
A shooting brake?
But he uses it for hunting.
My father had a buddy, Scotty Cook. His brother was Elijah Cook, who was a Hollywood actor, Maltese Falcon and stuff, a little weaselly guy.
Yeah.
And Scotty had a big shot job somewhere in Detroit, and he used to come hunting, and he'd bring a big caddy, and he and the wife would bring a caddy, and then he'd go pay the farmers to go pheasant hunting.
Right.
And drive through the cornfields with the thing.
Oh, really?
No, if the corn was still up, he'd just drive through the cornfield.
Oh, really?
And he'd be sitting out on a fender with a shotgun and somebody else would be driving.
No wonder people hate hunters. My God.
Yeah, but he paid the farmers. You know, he paid them the corn that was being destroyed.
Now, how did you know this guy? Was he a friend of Richard's?
Yeah, my old man got to know him, and he'd come down once a year, and he was crazier than a hoodoo.
I bet they were fast friends. That sounds like Richard to me.
He was a strange fella, but I remember him a little bit. Yeah,
that's worse than shooting pheasants out the window of the back seat with your 410.
Yeah, Scotty was the only one I ever knew that actually drove through the field in a Cadillac.
That's what the kids call
even a truck.
The kids call that some next level bleep.
Yes. Kenny, you've heard the best one though,
huh?
Where Pat's dad had put the kids on a train.
Yes, Curry, Minnesota.
And you'd have what? Pop rifles.
Orange pop and little hamburgers.
But you'd have
we have guns.
You have guns. And the train would come to a crossing, and Richard be waiting there, and the kids shot him out the train window, and Richard keel over and die, and then go to the next
and drive his
crossing and do it again.
The next section and do it again.
I think that's my favorite of all time.
That's the best dad story in the whole world.
There's a guy with a lot of time to waste.
Yeah. And then Rudolph, when he painted the nose red and drove through the neighborhood, said, "I'm sorry."
No, that was Kenny Malone's kid.
Kenny Malone's kid.
Yeah, over here in Sweeney Lake.
That is the coolest dad story I have ever heard.
Oh, wait, he would get out of the car, wouldn't he?
Oh, yeah.
And he'd be, with his arms folded, leaning on the hood, and then he'd get shot.
He'd keel over. That's so awesome.
That's fantastic. He'd be locked up in a psych ward.
He would not be among the free.
No. Signs along North Carolina highways serving as the route of an upcoming Ironman race were hacked to warn of delays stemming from, quote, idiots on bikes, end quote. Gene Caffrey said he was riding last weekend when he spotted the electronic sign warning drivers to expect delays June 3rd because of bleep holes on bikes.
Royce got a hold of the board.
It wasn't me.
Royce's running it.
I didn't think it was a real thing. I thought I was seeing things, he said. Seeing the signs like that, it just sends the wrong message.
Yeah.
Becky Beasley posted a video on Facebook showing a sign along U.S. Route 64 near Jordan Lake that showed a similar warning about idiots on bikes. Caffrey, who has participated in 2 Ironman races, said the signs stroke tensions between drivers and
We
cyclists.
could all get along if they just didn't think they were so superior to us.
They're so smug. Oh, my God.
They didn't think they were so
share
superior.
the road means share, not take it over, you smug bastard.
I've got a little taste of humble pie for some of the bikers. This man was not hurt, but this was just sent to me recently. And I'm going to play the audio.
We're going to have to describe this. What is it?
It's a man riding his bike on a street.
So you can see it doesn't...
And the biker looking down runs into the parked car. But of course, Reavers and I had to go back again and said, let's listen to that one more
We
time.
have to watch it in slow-mo.
Here we go.
Is he okay, though?
Oh, yeah, he walks up from it. He just wasn't paying attention.
And to add insult to injury,
He's mad at the car, I'm sure.
When he fell down, it was like because he hit the back of the window, then the
quadruple whammy.
No, let's all get along. Just stop being so smug.
Yep,
no, we'll get along
right there.
All right.
What do you have coming up?
Well, we're going to talk a little about the wonderful Brian Colangelo mess. And we got the great Nadine Babu, social media expert with us.
Colangelo is the guy who might be fake tweeting about the 76ers?
Yes. And then we got Tim Kirkchin and Joe Micheletti.
The Micheletti's clans.
He's done the last 3 rounds of the Vegas. He didn't do the first round, but he's been doing the TV.
Is he with Doc now?
No, he's doing radio now.
Okay,
but but he has done the last 2 rounds of Las Vegas, and big admirer of the Golden Knights.
1,500 ESPN is KSTP, St. Paul, Minneapolis. It's 72 degrees. The Ride is up next.
Hi, this is Chris Howard, host of Plugged In with Chris Howard. It's crazy to think that a few weeks ago we were talking about whether or not Tua Tagovailoa should consider retiring after 2 concussions and worldwide debates on player safety and NFL culpability. Tua has done nothing but go back to work and currently has the Dolphins riding a 3-game win streak and 1 loss behind the division favorite Buffalo Bills. While everyone was yapping about the end of his career, Tua Tagovailoa said he'll decide when it's time. And clearly, he's not ready to hang up the cleats. Hi, this is Chris Howard from the Plugged In with Chris Howard podcast. BetOnline.net is your number one source for betting football and the start of the new basketball season. Find all the latest player developments, team matchups, news, podcasts, and in-depth analysis on every game. BetOnline remains your continued source for all your sports wagering information with live betting, up-to-the-minute scores for the fastest and easiest way to check in on all your favorite games and events, including the MLB playoffs, the start of the NHL season, MMA, boxing, and golf. And if you love sports podcasts, you can find those at BetOnline as well. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to learn more. BetOnline, where the game starts.